Hello and happy Saturday, San Marino community, parents, students, and staff. I hope you're well and enjoying a beautiful Super Bowl weekend. So I want to get right to some exciting news today. First of all, revolving around COVID-19 and the reopening of schools, I'm excited to tell you that Dr. Delatorre and I will be asking the Board of Education to approve an opening of our TK through second grade classrooms on or just after February 22nd. This is based on a timeline where the county case rate health data gets below 25 per 100,000 by February 15th, which is what was predicted by Dr. Ferrer's team this last week. So we're all set in our classrooms with the PPE, the signage, student spacing, and plans for ingress and egress and recess, and of course bathroom breaks as well. SMTA and SMUSD leadership have produced a schedule for both in-person students and virtual-only kids. Parents of TK through second students should expect to receive a commitment survey early this week so we can determine the number of students returning and plan for accommodations for both in-person and virtual students. So we will next turn our attention to students in upper elementary and eventually, as the state and county provide guidance, to the possibility of bringing high school and middle school students back. Now listen, while I cannot promise you that we will be allowed to do it, I want you to know that right now that if we can get our secondary students back, even if it means for a very limited time, we will figure out a way to do that. You know, many districts have already declared that they will remain virtual in their middle and high schools for the remainder of the year. But I believe that we can do better than that. So, I want to thank our leadership team and teachers for working so hard and collaboratively to get us to this point, and I can't wait to see our kids in person in their classrooms. So what about vaccinations for staff? So last evening, Board member Joseph Chang, Dr. Stephen Choi, and I met with 6 great leaders at USC Keck Medicine who have agreed to partner with our school district to get our staff vaccinated at the earliest possible time. Their leaders said they are incredibly motivated to get kids back to school. There are 2 main issues to overcome, however. First, the county has to give the okay to LA County hospitals to move on to educators. Right now, they're focused on individuals 65 years and older. The second major issue is supply. USC and other hospitals are only getting about 1/4 of their supply needed to distribute. But we could see a change with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine as it gets approved for distribution. I want to thank Mr. Chang, who made the meeting with USC happen. It was neat to see how much respect the USC folks had for Joseph. Thank you, Joseph. As far as the campuses opening to outside groups, I was thrilled on Thursday that the County Department of Health finally responded to our prompts regarding a reopening of our campuses to outside groups and our facilities as well. So yesterday, Dr. Ferrer said, yes, outside groups like AYSO and Little League may return as long as they adhere to the protocols. I was so happy to call Little League leadership and to invite them back to our fields. I cannot wait to see those smiling faces as our kids jump over those crisp white baselines and onto that freshly cut grass in their bright and clean uniforms. What about Measure E and oversight? So in response to concerns voiced by citizens about the ongoing nature of the Measure E tax renewal, through resolution number 13, SMUSD's Board of Education took the first step towards naming a community oversight committee or task force who will advise the board on the expenditures funded by Measure E to annually make a report to the Board of Education in order to help ensure that those funds are spent appropriately for the purposes approved by the voters. The task force will consider various factors, including but not limited to the district's budget, state of California funding to schools, and the funding needed to adequately provide the level of support to the district's educational programs that the residents of the district expect in order to provide the board with a recommendation to either continue or effectively end the levy of Measure E parcel tax. It's important to remember that this is a renewal with no tax increase, and that without the passage of Measure E, we will be forced to reduce 40 classroom teachers, counselors, and support personnel. This would result in significant increases in class size and a devastating reduction of programs important to San Marino. I want to end today by talking about dual enrollment and Pasadena City College. I'm just so excited by the work of our high school administrative team working with Dr. Lena Richter and our wonderful partners at PCC as they bring dual and concurrent enrollment to San Marino High School. Dual enrollment has been discussed over many years here in San Marino, but it was this team who brought it to life. We look forward to offering American Sign Language, Introduction to Business, and Kinesiology in the fall of 2021. And we are moving towards future opportunities of collaborative classes with PCC for 2022. Jason Kurtenbach and Carlos Casam-Clay will be providing a much more in-depth presentation to the Board of Education this coming Tuesday, so I would invite you to tune in. Well, that's it. I will bring you more updates more frequently as we move towards the welcoming our kids back to campus. Until then, be well, and thank you for your ongoing support of San Marino Unified School District.